fainting is really common in children. We all probably can remember being at school and somebody fainting during a blood test or having an immunisation. Reports state that 1 in 4 children will faint at some point during their childhood. Most commonly, fainting, which is a brief loss of consciousness, is due to a sudden fall in blood pressure. It's rare that fainting is caused by a serious heart condition, but the heart conditions that cause fainting are very important. Therefore, it is definitely a good idea to have a checkup if somebody faints. Fainting, which is a brief loss of consciousness, is usually caused by a sudden drop in blood pressure. When the blood pressure falls suddenly, there's insufficient blood going to the brain. Sometimes there's a warning, sometimes people feel a bit dizzy, they feel a bit lightheaded, they may get some black spots in front of their eyes, or it may become a bit dark in front of their eyes. And some people end at that stage, but some people actually go on to faint. When they faint, then via gravity, blood goes from more easily from their lower body to the brain. So the most common cause of fainting is, as I said, blood pressure being too low, and the medical word for that is vasovagal syncope. There can, however, be more serious causes of fainting. These can be due to arrhythmia, an abnormal heart rhythm, or other heart conditions. So if you know a child who faints, it's important to speak to a doctor to make sure important serious causes are excluded. Fainting could be a sign of a serious heart condition. It's rare but very, very important to exclude heart conditions. Fainting during exercise is always a sign of great concern, and if somebody collapses suddenly during exercise, they should be taken urgently to hospital. Fainting that happens recurrently also is very important to be taken seriously, and again you must see a doctor, ideally a paediatric cardiologist. As I said, fainting which can happen recurrently can be distressing for people, and there are different treatments we can do, but the most important thing always is to check there's no serious underlying heart condition, so a visit to a paediatric cardiologist or other doctor is recommended. Fainting might be a sign of having blood pressure that's too low. It might be a sign of having an abnormal heart rhythm, or it might be a sign of having an actual problem with the structure of the heart or the way the heart's working. Seeing an expert doctor will help you to decide what the exact problem is. Some people, when they're fainting, get a warning. They may feel a little bit dizzy, a bit hot, a bit lightheaded. Sometimes they get dark spots in front of their eyes. Sometimes they have like a shutter that's coming down of darkness in front of their eyes. Sometimes the sound is not quite right. They feel as if everything's muffled, as if they're in a tunnel. And some people actually stop at that stage and don't actually faint, but keep having those unpleasant symptoms. Other people faint recurrently. Fainting on exercise is always very serious, and you must see an expert doctor. Fainting is not actually genetically passed down as a usual thing. That said, many of the children who come and see me, when I ask their parents if they've ever fainted, they say, oh yes, we had a few faints when we were young and we grew out of them. Sometimes even grandparents remember the parents fainting, or they themselves as grandparents fainted. But that doesn't actually mean it's genetically passed down. Once you see an expert doctor, they will be able to give you more information about the type of fainting your child is having.